made the ultimate compromise here and I changed my monitor resolution. Ah, seriously? That's all set up right. So yeah, now I'm like 720p. So it's gonna be a little more pixelated, but I hope it'll actually work now. It'll actually be able to keep up with the stream. Cause like really my only speculation is just that it's a bandwidth issue. Oh wow, this is kinda cool. This kinda looks like that bunny why doesn't it load that first? Halogenic magic. Huh, totally different, but I guess rabbits are kind of like a popular theme in Second Life, maybe. A lot of times artists will sort of imitate other artists in order to, there's a little loft up there, in order to kind of cash in on their success. This is kind of cool. Guess it's not interactive, even though those buttons sort of seem to indicate that they can be clicked on. That's a nice little foliage there. It looks kind of like moringa or a money tree, or maybe a eucalyptus. There's a nice little cactus. Yeah, succulents are big business. You could probably make 6 figures in Second Life just doing succulents. Seems like it would be a pretty unpleasant career choice, but better than mopping floors somewhere, I suppose. Alright, let's see how the stream health is going right now. Ugh. Yeah, so it's actually streaming, that's cool. So maybe I did solve the problem, which would be nice. I left quite the carnage in my wake, though. Yeah, one of the problems with having a small draw distance is that it makes it really hard to see what's on a sim, because the draw distance affects your visibility irregardless of whether you're on site or just using the eye in the sky technique. This is a really interesting fountain. Little rows. Yeah, see, I don't think this would be a very practical version in real life, because it would be kind of hard to squeak by there without getting all wet. But as a concept and as an effect and implementation, it looks really good. I've made a lot of objects like this. They don't sell very well in Second Life, but they're really fun. Stefan Visconti, that name is familiar. I might actually know the guy. So yeah, since my draw distance was so short before, I couldn't actually see these structures over here, so I had to up it a little. But the downside of that is that it's probably going to affect my bandwidth. Bunch of empty houses. Who knows if this is a development or just an individual who wanted to make a nice little like promenade here. Cafe. Second Life is such a mishmash of eras and aesthetics. It's just like unbelievable. Look at this orchid here. This is pretty cool. And it's streaming, and the stream is almost healthy. Like Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, like hello, the 1950s called. They want their wall art back. Yeah, I don't know why it is, but for some reason Second Life has this really peculiar tendency to draw in like the baby boomer aesthetic for some reason. Like there's a lot of like vintage Americana stuff, like from what a lot of people would consider like a cultural golden age of America, at least older people. Well, this is very similar. But yeah, this is a theme you will see over and over again in Second Life and on Sims. I mean, there's so much diversity that it's not like you could say with any certainty that every Sim is gonna have something like that, but it's pretty common. So yeah, this is looking a little familiar. Like the same person was clearly decorating both buildings. They kind of reused some of the assets. Come on, let me fly over that. Alright, there you go. Yeah, there's some kind of dog thing down here. Where'd you go, you little freak? That's cool. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen something like this in Second Life. You see how it's like kind of choppy? I mean, I'm sure everything looks choppy right now, but the animation of the dog is choppy, probably because there's multiple versions of the dog in the same space, and some of them are transparent, and then yeah, so it's like every possible state of the dog is there, and then it turns them on and off to simulate animation. It's actually a really clever hack to create this sort of like faux realism. Yeah, good job on that. Kind of want to try another sim, but there's still stuff to explore, and this sim's not bad. It's pretty good quality. We're like in a fairy garden and like butterflies and a wishing well, and then there's like this tree stump that looks like it was just mauled by a lumberjack. Kind of taking me out of the fantasy utopia setting. I've noticed this quite frequently, this strange pattern where you find a development like this and someone's built kind of like their dream house, and then you've discovered that there's always like a little cabin in the back for some reason. Like they have a big mansion and they have like a flashy fantasy area, and then there's like a little log cabin in the back. It's a really interesting oh, that's kind of cool. What is that? It just disappeared behind the wall. Yeah, one of the problems with Second Life is that because of all these hacks that you do to create or to simulate like modern game dynamics, like that little dog and stuff, when you do the hacks that to make those happen, it can have unintended consequences, like you have to make the objects phantom, which makes them like insubstantial so that they can just like walk through walls and stuff. And lots of flowers, lots of botanicals on this sim, which I definitely approve of. These are really nice bookshelves. You just think the amount of work that went into this. Someone had to like texture map and position every one of these books. It's a lot of time and effort. Really nice telescope. Beautiful, in fact, with materials. Well done materials. Hattie Panasek. I feel like it should always load the creator first, but it always loads the owner first. Wow, 11 years. That is some Ex Machina. Yeah, I've heard of that. That shop, definitely. Now here's the funny thing, like, this is a really nice asset. I'm not going to say that it's a piece of crap or anything, but it's still not AAA. It's like AA plus. Like, the texture bake is just a little bit crude. The topology is a little janky. Like, it lacks some of the finer details that you would expect from an asset. That the texturing quality, like the specular maps and stuff, is almost better quality than the geometry, which is kind of startling. Oh, here we go. Oh, fuck. Come on. There we go. There's a little wizard. What is this thing? What are you? Oh, that's cool. Creepy. Super creepy. Yeah, so the same thing there with the multiple versions. Definitely a homely little God, every one of these houses has an attic, which I like. Ugh, god damn it, went right through the roof. Interesting. So yeah, an insubstantial roof. It's a nice couch right here. Sometimes you have to do this to like get around things. 'Cause like, that doesn't work. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, here's the thing, like, the roof looks substantial from the outside, but it's phantom, so I can just fly right through it. That way you don't have to worry about physics getting in your way. Kind of convenient, actually, that I can just fly out of the house. Yeah, that's one of the benefits of a virtual world. You don't have to... The rules of the real world don't have to apply, they only apply to. Wow, this is quite developed here. See my frame rate just dramatically dropping because wow, this is cool. Yeah, it's gonna take a while for textures to load. This is kind of when I would expect my yeah, see, it's choking hard because my upload bandwidth is being massively restricted right now by all the downloading. Probably downloading at full capacity right now all these art assets, because there's like hundreds and hundreds of high resolution textures in here. All the geometry has to be loaded, so all we can do is hope that it doesn't crash the stream before it's finished. If I'm lucky, my broadband adjustment will fix this problem. It's a pretty nice little asset here. Yeah, like, creators in Second Life are forced to make things like of this size out of many different pieces, and each one has its own texture map instead of a single mega texture for all the elements. So the downside of that is that normally when an item like this would just instantly, all the texture would come into focus, Second Life is having to load each texture individually, and as you can imagine, that puts a lot of strain on the bandwidth, because it's trying to load in parallel, you know, dozens of textures, each one probably over a megabyte. So this village looks really familiar somehow. I feel like I've seen this in a game I played recently. It was very similar to the villages in Magica. I like the liltiness. Things are not all like isometric. They're very like whimsical. Yeah, my stream's choking pretty bad. And it's like, it's still loading. Like, you can see the textures like resin every time I look around. So, it's not gonna get better anytime soon, unfortunately. And if I walk around, then it's just gonna like instantly choke. So I'm kind of limited as to what I can do. Oh, cool. Wow, look at that bridge. That's really cool. I like this sim so far. Let's see if I can get a... I gotta find the actual ground before I can find out who owns this sim. It seems like every square millimeter is covered with invisible objects. Hitting the M key in Second Life brings you into mouse look. Uh-oh. Wow, I'm lagging hard. Haven't seen that in a while. And yet the lag meter is not really file sharing app, huh? Not really. That would be the streaming is probably what's causing that. Spending more time in this stream talking about the technical problems of streaming. Well, I'm touching it. Oh, outside in a big empty room. Which I should be thankful. If it was full of objects, my stream would probably die. Oh, nice sound effect. It went on a little bit too long, but otherwise... Yeah, this is the kind of sim I just want to explore for like an hour. Oh, this is really cool, this notice board. The thing I like about this aesthetic is it's like higher like higher fidelity than like World of Warcraft, but it's still like got that organic whimsicalness to it. It really shows like the craft of the artist, because it's really hard to do stuff like this in 3D modeling. Like, it's very easy to do hard surface, which is why I do hard surface modeling. Ah, great. Phone's ringing. Yeah, so I'm just like waiting for everything in this room to res, because the details are pretty good. So it's for the unruly students. A nice pigeon. Damn, that's some solid design. Solid texturing. And it had a sound effect too, which is cool. That cooing that pigeons make. It's like a little bird habitat. That's neat. Yeah, trust me, like when I eventually get all this shit ironed out and my live streaming isn't like a hellish experience. I'll be able to like respond to people who are talking and stuff, and asking, or chatting and asking asking me about like the assets and stuff. So like if you see something cool in the world as I'm exploring, you can say, "Hey, Neo, check that out." And, oh, I can't sleep in for some reason. And like, because I want to see who made it or whatever. Major. Yeah, so one of these days. So it seems like these are actually enterable structures, which is cool. Some of them are empty, and some of them have things in them, so I guess this sim is still under development. The heck? Oh, that's like a fog. They turned off flying on this sim, so I can't just fly over the fence. I have to actually find the entrance. That's one of my least favorite things in Second Life, is that you can disable flying for people. Wow, those foxgloves are incredible. Digitalis, the Latin name for these babies. Deadly, but also used in ancient times for people with mental health problems. Like in indigenous cultures, you can create a powerful sedative out of digitalis. 12 years old, wow. Stay up. Sirliat Nitschke. Yeah, good job on the digitalis. Wow, even the leaves are... the texture is a little bit disproportionate, but otherwise it's an accurate texture. And it looks like there's 3 different colors. Oh, 4 different colors. Nice. Foxgloves are perennial too, which is really nice, so they come back year after year if you take care of them. This is a really cool shop. I like all these cauldrons. Magic shop. Wow, this is a great build. Damn. Very, very cool build. Lots of detail, incredible detail, like on the texturing and stuff. And the doors are scripted to open and close. That's always impressive. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a lot of time in this room. I want to see everything. Goat's head. It's gonna be a while before everything loads in here, but I'll come back to the stuff that really interests me. This is like Harry Potter. What's the name of that? The something cauldron. Not sure if I have that right. But there was like a magic shop in Harry Potter that was like this. Looks like materials on the register. I always click on things just to see if they're interactive. Sometimes with humorous results. Like my avatar trying to mount things. That's cool. Wow, look at the detail and the stitching on that bag. Runes. Crystal ball. I wonder if these are sculpts or if these are all mesh. Cat skulls, huh? God, what a lot of time and effort it must have taken to texture all these, damn. Come on, res. The outer edge is resed, but not the goat. Actually, it looks like it has resed. Yeah, there we go. Texture's still coming in. It's taking its time. It's kind of cool that Second Life has that ability, though, to incrementally load textures. And it also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but if you focus on an object, like literally hover your cursor over it, the texture will load faster than everywhere else. I mean, that's like a really cool programming thing. I don't know how they pulled that off, but it's a very neat feature that comes in handy all the time. I mean, it makes perfect sense too. It's very intuitive because, like, if you're looking at something, if you're focused right on it, you're gonna want to see all the details as soon as possible. So it prioritizes those. Hell, these sage bundles, that is super cool. Nobody, huh? Just came out of nowhere, huh? Come on now. There we go. Death Row Designs. Nice. I don't even know if my profile is set up to have a link to my store. Ugh. I swear to God, like, before I started my live stream a few days ago, I hadn't logged into Second Life for like 6 months. I've been so, like, just completely lost in other things. I mean, I love Second Life. I've always loved it, and I always will love it. It will just, like, perpetually have this fond, like, spot in my heart, in my consciousness, in my soul. But when you're busy, you don't really have time for everything that you want to do, no matter how precious it is. So you kind of have to put certain things on the back burner, and Second Life is definitely on the back burner for a while. One thing that has always mystified me about the way Second Life loads textures, though, is like it'll load them and then unload them sometimes. Like that just loaded, but if I walk away from it, it may unload. I'm not really sure how that works. Uh-oh, lagging. Oh, there's just so many things in this. Yeah, see, like those books right there, the texture unloaded. It was loaded and then it unloaded. Like, why? If it took the time to download the texture, why would it like undownload it? Well, you know what I mean, like unload it from the item and try to reload it. Doesn't make any sense. You can see they kind of phoned it in upstairs. Like those other bookcases we were looking at earlier were super well defined, incredibly detailed. These are still pretty detailed, but nowhere near the level of those other books. Like these are just square or rectangles with the texture slapped on them. Still a nice touch, and when you're downstairs and you look up there and see all those books and this awesome staircase, it really has an impact, even if the details aren't like super defined. It reads well from the ground floor. So yeah, really neat magic shop right here. Very impressive. And just imagine how long it must have taken to make this whole area, like placing all these buildings, all the details inside. Of course the bars can be stocked. Let me in. Yeah, see, when it comes to magic and whiskey, you know that the artist is going to be working hard on those. You know, the barn, maybe not so much. Hey, those are Skyrim coins. Let's see if I can sit down. Most of these masturbate. Oh, I see. It's making a pose ball. Let's see. Oh my god, for real. Yeah, so that's like an X-rated pose ball. You can make these are like adult chairs from like an adult shop, but they were used in this bar setting, so I can use like the female masturbating animation on my avatar. I like this. That's like a cool way to make a wine rack. Just a beam with some holes in it. Looks neat. So yeah, these props are what I think of as like mid-tier. Like if you saw the props that I was looking at the other day when I was streaming in that one house, those were like AAA props. Like you can't really compare those props to these props. Like these are like single A, or some of them might border on double A, but they're just not in the same league as that other set of food props. And like you can see, the colors are kind of off too. Like they just used like hue and saturation or whatever to create like variety. Alright, that's creeping me out. Even though my avatar is sexually androgynous, I watch it masturbate. But honestly, if you compare these props to what Second Life looked like before sculpts and mesh came along, these are a light years ahead of those. So yeah, it's really it's come a long way. Little cooking stove. Ugh, really? This is stupid. It should activate. Probably just more of the same on the second floor. But that's nice. It looks like almost all these props came from the same artist too, because they're very thematically similar and they have that same sort of like coloration thing. I want to just see if we can find out who created these. Porto Car, probably one of the like someone who started out doing sculpts and prims and stuff. You can kind of see it in artistry in Second Life. I feel like there's a just sort of a familiarity. Like I think if you started building with prims, it kind of like, I don't want to say taints your work, but it definitely like influences your work, because you have to like bend your aesthetic and stuff around the limitations of the medium, and that can influence, oh, I guess I went out the back door, and that can influence how you 3D model later on once you get more advanced tools. This is really nice. It's a great little stairway zone. It's all very oh, I'm an admin, am I? Let's see if I can retrigger that. Ugh, more of the you're too far away bullshit. Well, these props are looking a little bit different. That looks familiar. That's like from Indiana Jones. I remember that. Which one though? Temple of Doom? The Last Crusade? Oh no, not Indiana Jones. Goonies? I don't know. I know I've seen that in some movie. Just not sure which one. Yeah, so I feel kind of like there's a mishmash of props in here. Some look very similar to that other set, but then there's clearly some that came from somewhere else too. It'd have a lot more detail. Like this espresso machine or whatever it is. What is this? It's like a froth milk dispenser. Yummy and fresh. God, that's a lot of details. Damn. Look at that. Even the straw is dimensional. That's impressive. It says pull, but it doesn't do anything. Typical. It's the particle system's a little bit off there. Oh, these fish are... This fish rack is cool, but they're like sprites. Like surprisingly dimensional for being sprites. I thought I saw a ship earlier, like in the distance. That's why I initially came down here to the dock area, because I wanted to see what the ships looked like, but now there's nothing. It looks like a zip line. And I still can't fly, so I'm being forced to walk everywhere on foot. Which, yeah, it does kind of add to the immersion, but it also is frustrating because I don't really want to walk. And I can't even get where I want to go because of this stupid maze. I have to actually, like, jump over the wall here. Can't identify. That looks like a trillium. I don't know. That almost looks like oxalis, but it isn't. Or you're just gonna have to put up with my plant identification. That's pretty solid there. Tuna packed, although those are not tuna, I don't think, packed in salt. And I just want to look at everything. I'm really having a hard time, like, controlling myself here. I just want to look at everything all at once. This fish market is pretty cool. Textures are just a little muddy. You can tell they used like JPEGs instead of PNGs, although that one's pretty crisp. But pixelation, I'd say that's one of the signs, or one of the things that differentiates like AAA assets from AA or single A, is texture compression, knowing how to use the right formats to get the best possible results. That's interesting. There's like a meter on the side of the barrel. That's kind of cool. So what I really want to get to is that like bridge that, whoops, I am screwed now. Oh my god. I was so distracted I fell overboard. Oh, how am I gonna get back up? If they don't have like a stairway or anything, I'm screwed. I'm just gonna be stuck down here because I can't fly. I'm just gonna have to walk across the sound here underwater, come out on the other side. Oh, there's the boat I thought I saw. It's actually just like part of the building. That's pretty cool. I didn't turn the sound off, but I'm not hearing anything except for maybe I turned the sound way down. Let me crank it up here. 60. A lot of times Sims that are this immersive will have a ton of sound effects and stuff. But this one doesn't seem to have any. Though I'm hearing something in the distance. Very strange. Oh, my avatar's knees are broken. His knees break all the time because he's like 7 foot tall. But this is kind of cool. This is very like Alice in Wonderland. Hedge maze. Dearly beloved. It's like a little marriage spot. That's cool. Actually, I want to go down here and see what it looks like. Someone did a really good job on all these little pathways between buildings. This time I'll try not to fall into the water, because that looks like a pretty long swim. A rowboat. Yeah, the coloration is way off on the wood textures and stuff. It's oversaturated with some kind of like base color that was put on top to try to simulate wood. But I mean, you got to give them props for making the textures the old-fashioned way instead of using shaders or photographs. Because as you might have seen in my video of when I was building my sawhorse, it's quite the ordeal sometimes. The rainbow's cool. The hell am I? I need to find some ground to click on. Everything is terraformed. I can't. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm gonna fall through the bridge. If I ever find bare ground to click on, I'll find out who owns the sim. 'Cause I'm pretty interested at this point. That's a really nice fountain. There we go. Actually getting some sounds now, which is good. Hopefully they won't trigger any like copyright violations. You never know, I swear to God, even just like sound files, sound samples can trigger YouTube's draconian copyright. Oh, that's a really nice sundial. I made one like this a while back, but it wasn't this nice. In fact, mine was kind of wacky. This one's actually really nice. Actually, who did this? Same person? Bloody bullshit. Come on. Ugh, sometimes you gotta like click on it multiple times. La 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 more. Oh, it doesn't say how long she's been in Second Life. Weird. Probably just hasn't loaded all the data. So I'm seeing a lot of diversity in the assets, and like, look at the staircase. The staircase is awesome. Let's see who made this. Looks like it's a whole complex. It's not just the staircase, it's also that tower. Silex. 11 years. Some French guy maybe. Yeah, it's like a lighthouse maybe. Nice. Very nice. Those are great sound effects. Let me go all the way up to the top. I swear to God, people just have no idea how hard it is to make stuff like this in Second Life. Like, anyone who can make a building that's 2 stories tall and has decent texture mapping is like a god in Second Life, because, oh my God, the hoops you gotta jump through, and if your avatar can, like, physically walk up it and explore it, even more amazing. So like that was a feat right there. It shouldn't be that hard, but it is. Because you got physics, and then you have to break up your model into so many pieces in order to texture map, so that you actually get a decent resolution, because you're limited to the 1024 by 124 pixel textures. Alright, I actually want to get on the other side of this and explore what's over there, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to, because there's a wall there. So, yeah, this is the big downside of turning off flying on your sim. You can see basically that I'm trapped in this area, and now I have to backtrack all the way out of here, and if flying was turned on, I could just fly over the top in seconds. So it really does kind of a disservice to the visitor, I think. I like this marble statue. This is cool. Although it's just kind of weird. Like, what does it mean? Like, there's all these candles, and there's a marble woman. Like, I feel like I need some context. John Lionheart. Yeah, so this sim is just like peppered with all these different creators. Wow, I saw this in real life. That's cool. A lot of sculptures that you see in Second Life will be photogrammy, I think they call it, where it's basically like 3D scanning of a real object. So if you see a sculpture in Second Life, chances are like 99 times out of 100 it's a real world sculpture that someone has just made a 3D scan of. It's not like an original creation. It's like a war map. I'm getting a little impatient, to be honest, at this point. Like, I'm not wanting to wait for all these assets to load. I kind of just want to keep exploring. This sim has really piqued my interest. I'm amazed, actually. This is a great experience. This is very immersive. This is, like, yeah, the graphics are not, like, 100, but it's still, like, it's great. It's great. I'm having a great time exploring. I'm having a great time looking at all the stuff. I mean, there's just so many assets. It's really impressive. So many details. Yeah, so well done, whoever created the sim. Hopefully I'll find out before the end of this video. There's usually a bare spot of ground somewhere. Wow, that looks super uncomfortable. Lots of rooms in this house. Oh, cool, a solar system model. Is that the same telescope from before? No, it's a different one. Yeah, if I seem totally manic, I'm actually not manic. I'm over caffeinated. I was sick a while back, and I quit coffee cold turkey because the first day I was sick, I was so tired I couldn't even get up. That's the same person who made the other telescope. But this one, yeah, the texture mapping is even rougher around the edges on this one, but still great work on the tripod. So yeah, I quit coffee. Oh, this is awesome. I quit coffee cold turkey, and I was like half dead for a week because I was drinking like 4 cups a day before that, and I had like the worst migraine ever. It was intense, and so I've been sort of like managing my caffeine intake really strictly since then, so I don't so my heart doesn't explode basically. But today I fixed myself a full scoop serving of coffee with like the amount of caffeine I used to have every day, and oh my god, I was feeling it all day long. I was just like, go, 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 gadget flow. So I'm still majorly on this caffeine kick. That's why I'm talking non-stop. Lucky you, you get to look at all these cool things and hear me talk my ass off. Yeah. Oh yeah, another aesthetic, you know, I was talking about earlier, sort of like the boomer aesthetic, the 1950s, 60s, 40s type stuff that you see all the time in Second Life. Oh, there's another room over here. Another aesthetic you'll see a lot of is Victorian era stuff, like all this stuff, like you walked into Downton Abbey or something. Lots of Baroque too. Well, that's weird, but cool. human butt planter. Oh yeah, look at that. Toilet sound effects. That is quality. Wow, this is amazing right here. This is really incredible, the carving work on here. Some 3D artists spent a lot of time on this, and it looks amazing. I bet it's even openable. Fairy tales do come true. Let's see. It's hard to believe that it doesn't open, but on the other hand, I'm like so blown away by the details and the quality and stuff. Like, I don't even care that it doesn't open. I mean, it's just a curio cabinet after all. Let's see who built this beautiful thing. Isla Gaelic. Nice. 12 years old. It's a long time. How the fuck old am I? It's never gonna load. I don't know why, but profiles like never load on my... Bro, this has so many rooms. I'm like lost at this point inside this house. I don't even know where I am anymore. I really want to go up that staircase I saw a while back that was in the other room adjacent to the one I was just in. It's a nice bedroom. Yeah, here we go. The staircase, the spiral staircase. Where does it lead? Torture chamber, laboratory, attic full of junk. That looks like a sex machine. So, the BDSM room. Alright, let's see if, self-bondage. There we go. Trying to ensnare me. Come on, where are you? It's trying to snare me, but it can't for some reason. Maybe I'm just not close enough. I can't seem to grab you. What am I then? Chopped liver? Oh, so much for self-bondage. God, I so called it. It's basically a torture chamber. Although, what the hell is this? It's like a tiny little shower for hobbits. Cultivate. There we go. Fuck. I always go for fuck. Guess I'm not close enough. Sometimes you have to be wearing special stuff to like interact with certain appliances like that. Alright, back down the stairs. I think the reverse sex dungeon was played out. Yeah, spiral staircases and dark small rooms always lead to torture and or sex rooms. Just FYI. Okay. I think I want to get out of this house because I'm actually kind of sick of... Oh, Romeo, where art thou? I actually want to get out of here, for real. I can't believe I found the front door, to be honest. Okay, now what I want to go for, if I can ever actually get there, which is pretty dubious at this point, in fact, more like very dubious, is that, like, walkway. Can I even find it? I'm so lost. Yeah, there's like a sky bridge type thing. I'm almost tempted to use this hack I know about to turn flying on in a no-fly sim. In fact, I think I'm going to because I'm really getting sick of not flying. So, hopefully I can just... Well, I could have just teleported, I suppose. That's another option. Winterborn... Porcelain... Okay, so now I'm flying. Back in the day, you used to be able to fly into another sim and you'd stay flying, even if flying was turned off, and it still works. How tight is that? The downside is that if you ever turn off the flying, you will immediately fall to the ground and you won't be able to get back up again. Not very intuitive, but whatever. Okay, so this is what I was looking for. I'm gonna stay in the air so that I don't have to go through that nonsense again. Don't like being tied down. I think I need to turn down the ambient flying sounds a little. There you go. That's better. Yeah, so this structure intrigued me from a distance. I was really kind of liking how it looked. Good job on the construction. And the wood texture is good. The color, however, is it's a little too one note, so it detracts from the realism a little. And like I was saying before, that really is the difference between top tier and lower tier assets. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Looks like a pastry. Cakes. Cool, cool, cool. Ugh. Come on now. Alright, now that I'm airborne, I should be able to go anywhere I want, look at anything. Ooh, a mine. Oh, this has got to be fake. I mean, it can't possibly just keep going, can it? That like annoying thumping sound you're hearing is me like bouncing off the walls because I'm still flying. Wow, this is a big mine, Jesus. Salt stock. What is this? Oh, it's like a ore deposit or something. Like you come in here with a pickaxe and you like mine stuff, maybe? I don't know. So a sim this elaborate is probably related to some kind of like role-playing thing, so people probably like come here and have like some heads-up display that allows them to, that's not creepy or anything, that allows them to like role-play and stuff. So this looks like it goes on forever, but it actually ends right there, so. I honestly thought there'd be more to this mine since it kept going after I went inside, but it doesn't actually seem like there's more to it. But still pretty cool. I mean, the fact that it was articulated to that depth and with that complexity, that's a lot of effort. I gotta say, these rocks really look good. This is a very solid rock formation. Great texturing. Alright, the windmill is intriguing me, so I'm gonna fly over there. The lag is making it a little hard to fly, so that's why I'm kinda like thumping off of things. Another picturesque cabin. There's the grinding wheel. Not very, the millstone, I guess you would say, technically. Not very, authentic. Because, like, you'd be trying to grind your grain and it would be getting all over the floor and the proportions are off, but whatever. Whoa. Okay, those look like tomatoes. And then wheat. Rice. Maybe. idea what those are. Interesting. Bison, chickens, sunflowers. Another windmill. Although, I mean, even though that's a windmill, it's not a mill. Like, that's a windmill. This is a water pump. But we always just call them windmills. Anyway, even if they're pumping water. Kind of curious. Yeah, all these percentages and stuff on all these things, clearly this is used for some kind of role-playing. Otherwise they wouldn't have, like, metrics and stuff. In other words, they're more than just props. They're actually part of some kind of gaming experience. Ah, little garden shed. My home turf right here. Got potting benches, watering cans, flats. So this is clearly the agricultural center of the small hamlet. Not really enough crops to sustain. Uh-oh, what happened? Looks like the server's choking. Yeah, not really enough crops and animals and stuff to sustain the population of a town of this size, but it's a start. Okay, I'm starting to recognize things. I've already been here, checked out all of that. Do kind of want to see what's going on over here with the boathouse. Oh no, god damn it, I forgot and I landed. So now I'm stuck on the ground again. Come on, let me in, what the hell? Uh-oh. Landscape experience. Okay, we'll try it. Oh god, I think I unwittingly, like, entered into some, like, Second Life experience thing, which is like a gaming dynamic. And this looks like some kind of sex house. I'm regretting this already. Let me out! Ugh, great. I have no idea how to turn that off. This is treacherous. I just, like, agreed to something in Second Life without thinking it through. Pretty sure once you leave the experience it turns off, but I don't know for certain how that works. Yeah, I should read up on experiences because I don't know what, like, to what extent they can affect your avatar, or like how they can interact with your Second Life account and so forth. Because obviously, like, on the internet or when it comes to installing software, permissions are pretty important. You don't usually want to just give a blank check to whatever random website or application you're using. Alright, I think I kind of feel like I'm going in circles at this point. Alright, I'm not on the admin list. This is cool. It's like a fabric shop. Safe. Fortunately, my lock picking skill is only around 2 points, so I'm not going to be able to crack that safe. Damn it. Cool spinning wheel. Sewing machine. Oh my god, I've seen like so many of these in Second Life. It's like a very common prop. Oh, these thread spools are really nice. Very, very nice. Look at that detail. Little sewing cabinet. I feel like I've been live streaming for about 4 hours, so I'm probably gonna call it quits pretty soon. I'm actually getting a little bit worn out. Maybe coming down off that caffeine high finally. But I'm gonna do one thing before I already went back there. Jesus Christ. Believe it or not, I don't smoke weed. Like, you wouldn't know, and like, people are always telling me that like, I exhibit the symptoms of a stoner, and that really offends me and hurts my feelings, because I'm like very straight edge when it comes to weed. I'm not gonna judge or anything. Like, if that's your thing, if you like to get high, cool, no problem. But for me personally, it's something I really don't like. But yeah, I can be really slow. I can be really but I really went into that church. Let me see. I'm gonna show you a cool little hack here. The teleport jump that you can do for obstacles using the mini map. This is like that thing where you explain a trick that you're about to do and it goes horribly wrong and you look like an idiot. That's what happens, because there's actually a landing point right there for the sim, so I can't use that particular trick to get over that fence. But in most sims you can just teleport a really short distance to get like through walls or over fences and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, so like I don't smoke weed, even though I seem like a complete stoner a lot of the time, so it's just my my brain is wired in a very strange way that I'm pretty much permanently stoned. That's how you can think of it. So sorry about the spaciness and my memory issues, but yeah, I feel like this live stream was about the same quality as the others, only I got a few things ironed out with the streaming back end, and it seems like I'm getting pretty consistent results here. Maybe, I don't know. When I check the stream later, I'll find out if the quality is any better. And then my internet should get upgraded soon, so that may solve the rest of the problems. And I just want to say thanks for watching and for exploring the sim with me. Let me find a patch of ground really quick here. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, Victorian fantasy role play based on World of Darkness, changeling, dreaming with working GNS farm and wines. So yeah, it's like a role-playing fantasy sim, group-owned, Happy Stars. So pretty cool. Yeah, if you ever wanna check out this sim, I'm gonna try to paste the URL into the stream chat. Let's see if I can do that. Alright. So yeah, there it is. If you want to go there yourself and check it out. Yeah, only an hour and 10 minutes. It felt like a lot longer, but yeah, thanks for watching, and have a good day.